Hello, my name is Mick Bradley. I live in Otley, where I'm a town councillor representing the Green Party. So that involves me in quite a lot of community issues. I'm the Vice Chair of the Environment and Sustainability Committee on the Town Council, and obviously flooding is one of the areas that we would consider as a committee. The thing about Otley is that if you did a survey of Otley, it's very popular. People love living here. In fact, there was a thing on Facebook, the main sort of group, just last week, put on by another local councillor, which got a huge number of responses from people who are on this Otley group but don't even live in Otley anymore, but want to keep a connection. What it's got going for it, Otley, really, is that it's a relatively small community, maybe 15,000, albeit growing. It's in a lovely location. It's quite distinct because it's in the Wharf Valley. We have other communities, Poole and Ilkley, either side of us, but even though we're part of Leeds Authority, we're really very separate from Leeds because we've got the Chevin high ground separating us off. So it's quite a very distinct market town community, which means that actually people do get to know one another, and it's not difficult to find out who is likely to be kind of helpful and have knowledge and some motivation to get involved in the study groups. It wasn't too difficult to put together. I think that there's probably the size of the settlement made that easier than it might be in other places. Plus, obviously, we wanted at least a couple of the local residents who were affected involved, and they were certainly forthcoming. After we had the Boxing Day floods in 2015, then I saw some of the press coverage relating to the Pickering, the flooding in Pickering, which I was already aware of and had seen sort of images of previously, and I gathered from that the Oxford team had been involved, and particularly Sarah, and that kind of made me think that there'd been a fabulous community effort after the flood on Boxing Day to help everybody affected, to clear out all the ruined carpets and everything, and just generally do a lot of the things that need to happen afterwards. I felt that what I could more usefully do, although we did help a little bit with that, my son and myself went down the following day, but what I felt was that if I could get somebody to actually come and look at what had happened, and we could find ways of alleviating the flooding so that we didn't get a repeat either next winter or in a future winter. At the end of the day, as a local politician and resident, I want to see action on this. I want to see things happening that will mean that a flooding incident in the future will not be as severe, will hopefully not affect the properties that were affected in the Boxing Day event. So it's going to be, I appreciate it's going to be a little while yet before all that evidence is gathered together to get the best possible decisions made, but I'm certainly looking, and there's a 2020 deadline, I think, to spend the funds available. I mean, I would hope that it wouldn't be delayed that long, but in the next year or two at the most, that we would get, and I know the local MP is pushing for rapid action, perhaps a little bit unrealistically, to be honest, at the minute, but I think we do want it to happen sooner rather than later. But we do want to get all the evidence, and we do want the best possible decisions made. Yeah, okay, that's a big question actually. Yeah, I think just involving local residents, listening and acting upon their views, their perspective of what happened. And from the group members, I'm pretty sure it would have been a cross-section of views, because there are some residents directly affected, but other people living in other parts of Otley. That does give you a definite way into things that you wouldn't get from purely doing analysis, using data. Particularly, it's mainly data gathered from the river as well, really, because that's what the EA focuses on. It gives you more than that. So I think that, and it's given us the tools. We still have to carry it through, but it's given us the tools as a community to carry on analysing what's going on with water here, and with a view to trying to prevent future flooding episodes. So it gives us all that. Environment is a much bigger question, really, than flooding. Flooding's a kind of extreme manifestation, really. Yeah. Well, flooding's natural, of course, but when it affects communities and properties, then it's a kind of rather extreme outcome. I'd love people to be involved in looking at the whole environment of Otley and how we protect it from all kinds of risks. Flooding's one, traffic congestion's another, large-scale house building is another. These are all kind of either happening or likely to happen over the next few years, and protecting the environment is a key part of that, which isn't going to be easy. And I think that the more local voices are listened to, there are lots of consultations when it comes from Leeds City Council or government departments, but it's really how much local people's views are really taken into account. I guess it's trying to stretch our democracy, really, maybe a little bit more than it's prepared to go at the moment. I feel like there's a national straitjacket that is making it difficult for us to make local decisions that actually would be better, because we know better as a locality what we really want. We can work within financial constraints, but give us more decision making. And I am thinking of the town council, but I'm thinking of just the community generally as well here. Yeah, I think probably for me the most positive thing maybe at the moment is that when we went to the feedback meeting, there was the Environment Agency represented, the Leeds Flood Group, a couple of members of the Leeds Flood team, Leeds City Council were there, plus the Yorkshire Dales Rivers Trust. So really this small study has been quite a catalyst in pulling together the key agencies, and with some money sitting in the EA's coffers earmarked for flood spending in the Otley area, then it's been really valuable to get everybody together. And there is a real discussion going on. I think there's a recognition that the residents' involvement makes a real difference, that they actually provide information and a perspective that you don't get anywhere else, however sophisticated your models are. So I think that's been recognised, which is progress. And just the agencies coming together and talking, and there are other studies going on alongside the Otley one, so we're going to really be looking for a little while yet, I think, to pull together more data, more evidence, to really get the best possible outcomes, to get the clearest pointers as to what to do. Don't leave it to the so-called experts, because I think the experts are now realising that actually local knowledge can lead to much better models and much better, therefore, potential practical outcomes in seriously tackling flooding. It's not going to go away because climate change isn't going to go away. Now, you have to expect flooding episodes as one consequence of extreme weather in the future, but we really should be doing the most we can to make the best decisions with the resources we've got to try and limit the impact, try and alleviate flooding as far as we possibly can.